Okay, cool. Let's get rocking. All right, guys, when you hear the term valuation, when you hear the term underwriting, it means the same thing. It's nothing more than the process of quantitatively evaluating a real estate investment for its viability and potential. Basically, putting a price tag on a property. Very, very straightforward, very simple. Okay? Now, guys, when I tell you all, the reason why we do what we do, okay, because we want you to understand and learn and be able to remember as much as possible. Okay, this is how to apply these items. Okay, this is what's called the cone of learning. All right, we tend to remember our level of involvement, guys. When I'm telling you to put your camera on, it's not because I think it's cool. It's because it will literally help you remember better. Remember how I said you remember 10% of what you read, 20% of what you hear, 30% of what you see. Watching a movie, right? What we hear and see, watching a demonstration, that's what we're going to be doing tonight, seeing it done on location, participating in the discussion. Why do you think I'm always like, hey guys, type in the chat, right? I'm not doing that for my sake. I like Simon Says, just like the next guy. But I'm doing this so this increases your probability of learning and remembering this stuff, okay? Doing a dramatic presentation on something will absolutely help it, and then simulating the real experience, right? So if you can teach this to somebody in your brokerage tomorrow, go ahead and do that. Discuss it with one of your coworkers, okay? Because one thing is receiving is passive. The more active you are when being involved with information, the more likely you are to remember. And in this game, the more you learn, the more you earn. So let's get into it, guys. So we are talking about the basic formula. Whoopsie. The basic formula of underwriting goes like this. Income minus expenses equals net operating income. Like I said, guys, money comes in the form of rents. It goes out in the form of operating expenses. What's left over is net operating income or net income. If you want to go a little bit further in depth, you have rental income plus additional income, okay? And that's going to equal potential gross income. Now, remember, guys, no building is 100% full 100% of the time. So what winds up happening is you have to account for that in a vacancy and collection loss, okay? When you subtract out the vacancy and collection loss, you are left with the EGI, or effective gross income, and you subtract out operating expenses from that, and you're going to be left with your net operating income. This on the right side, guys, is just a little more in depth than what is on the left side, okay? So I just want to show you guys that part there. Now, let's talk about it, right? Rental income is pretty self-explanatory in the sense of like rent comes in from tenants, right? Very, very simple. Whatever the building is bringing in. Additional income is stuff like laundry. It's like parking. It's vending machines. In fact, guys, type in the chat some things that you might consider additional income. Other ways outside of rent from tenants that a building can bring in income. Type it in the chat, guys. Let's see what you got, okay? Collection loss. Like I said, folks, no building is 100% occupied 100% of the time. So what you wind up having to do is you wind up having to adjust for that, okay, for the non-paying tenants, and or if a place goes vacant. You know, let's say someone moves out and you got to get the painter in there, or you got to get new carpet, or you're redoing the bathroom or whatever, okay? Yeah. All right, operating expenses, recurring expenses for the ongoing operation of the property. Now remember this, guys, this is a key important thing, okay? Because if you ask an owner for their rental income and all their expenses, oftentimes they're going to give you expenses that are not operating expenses, okay? Here's what I mean. Now, think of it this way, guys, okay? Operating expenses are regular and recurring. In fact, type those in the chat, guys. Type regular and recurring. Because regular and recurring describes how an operating expense occurs, okay? A capital expense, which is also an expense, but it's neither regular nor recurring. So what I want you guys to understand, it's very, very important, okay? What are some examples of capital expenses? Type it in the chat, guys. Yep, awesome. Yes, thank you, Brittany. Regular, recurring, okay? So if the opposite of that is true, okay, so like taxes, insurance, lawn, CAM, snow removal, all those goodies, right, okay? If those are regular and recurring, what are some things that aren't regular and recurring, but happen every once in a while, maybe every 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years. What are some things that have to do with the expenses of a building that might happen every so often, not at monthly, quarterly, annually? Ooh, there we go, Sarah. Systems, HVAC, electric, yeah. What about the roof? What about the parking lot? What about upgrading windows? What about, you with me, guys? Okay. Good. So you see what I'm talking about, okay? So the biggest thing I see, so once you you add the income, you subtract out the expenses, you're left over with NOI, you're going to apply what's called a capitalization rate. This is, and trust me guys, I've done survey after survey after survey for years and years and years. I've asked thousands of agents this question, okay? The capitalization rate is the relationship, nothing more than the income producing properties net operating income to its value. That's it. It's a ratio of NOI to value. Period. End of story. Okay? The formula is NOI divided by purchase price. Okay? So let's take for this example, right? NOI of 70,000, purchase price of $1 million. That is a cap rate of 7%. Very, very simple, guys. Okay, most people overcomplicate it, and they think it's something that it's not. All it is a relationship between two numbers. Okay, very, very, very simple. Now, IRV, right? Good old cousin Irv. Okay, an IRV is a formula when valuing income-producing properties that if you know 2 of the 3 variables, you can figure out the third. The variables are as follows: income, I, R is rate, and V is value. So if you know 2, you can figure out the third, okay? So in the next example, all right, income is net operating income, rate is cap rate, okay? And value is like as in purchase price, dollar amount or offer amount, okay? So the way to express this formula is in 3 different ways. If you know the rate and the value, you can figure out the income. So for instance, if the building is worth $1 million and the cap rate is 8%, therefore you can figure out the NOI, okay? Like I put in an offer of a building in front of some people today, and I told them the price, I told them the cap rate, so guess what? From those 2 things, they can figure out the NOI, okay? Right, very, very important. Now, when you start and you know the value and the income, you can figure out the rate, okay? So if the same building is worth $1 million and the income is 75,000 divided by $1 million asking price, the rate of return, aka cap rate. Just remember, guys, cap rate is a snapshot in a given moment of time, okay? For instance, if I did my numbers today, okay, and I know what my operating expenses are for my building, and I know what my asking price is, and I'm selling the building, and we have a big blizzard tonight, and I have to go pay my snow plower $8,000 to go plow the parking lots and everything, guess what? Expenses increase, NOI decreases, guess what? At the same asking price, it changes my cap rate. You see that, guys? Okay? The cap rate goes down. Make sense? Okay? So, just wanted to make sure you guys got that. And then finally, guys, the third way is if you know the income and the rate, you can figure out the value. This is the one that you're going to use the most because people are going to tell you, oh yeah, go out and find me an 8 cap, go out and find me a 7 cap, go out and find me a 9 cap, whatever. So if you know the NOI of a building and you know the desired cap rate for your investor, this is how you figure out the value of a building. Okay, when you know, let's say you're going to take a listing, when you know what the NOI of the building is, okay, and you know what the market cap rate is, you take the NOI of the building, divide it by the market cap rate, and you'll be able to get what the market value should be. Does that make sense so far, guys? You good with that? Okay, cool. All right, now, there you go, boom. So what the most important thing I want you guys to understand is you can solve for any of these things with just a little bit of information. You need 2 pieces of data, okay? So if you have the rate, you have the income, okay? You can solve for the value. If you have the income, and you have the value, you can solve for the rate, okay? If you have the rate and the, I'm forgetting now, right? You can solve for the R, you can solve for the I, and you can solve for the V. Sorry guys, it's been a long day. I've been on the phone a lot today. But so what I want you guys to understand is when you're asking a building owner about a property, you have to know what the income is and you have to know what the expenses are. But most importantly, you have to pull out any expenses that are not regular and recurring. Okay, guys, very, very important. All right, because if your expenses are too much, guess what? It's going to lower your NOI. It's going to lower the value of the building. Okay, so what I'd like you guys to do, for those of you that have been here, thank you so much. Look at this, guys. We usually have like 25, 30 people on here. We have exactly 3. All right, so kudos to you guys. You guys obviously take your business seriously. So we're going to reward you guys. Laura, can you do me a favor for Tara, Brittany, and Sarah? Can you go ahead and send them over a copy of our underwriting sheet? We want to give them a nice holiday thank you for being here and being dialed in, okay? Because what's most important, folks, is that you understand how to utilize this. So I'm going to run through a quick example. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the spreadsheet so that you guys see exactly how we do it. All right, so give me 1 second. Okay, so basically what it comes down to, folks, it doesn't matter what you do, okay, whether you underwrite 6 units, 16 units, 60 units, or 600 units. It's all the same. I'm going to say it again. You'll hear me say it 1,000 times. Money comes in the form of rents. Money goes out in the form of operating expenses, regular and recurring. What's left over is NOI. You apply a local area cap rate to the NOI, okay? So check this out, guys. So you got a mix of 1-bedroom apartments. In fact, let's go around. Tara, what's 1-bedroom apartment go for? You're in Camden, right? Oh, you're muted, bud.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. What's a 1-bedroom in Camden go for? You're muted.
About 1,200.
1,200. Love it. Brittany, what is you're in Sarasota? Am I correct? What does a 1-bedroom in Sarasota go for?
Yes, in Sarasota, 1-bedrooms go for about 2,000, 18 to 2,000 or more.
Okay, 2,000. Sarah, what do 1-bedrooms go for in your neck of the woods?
It's about 750 to 1,200, just depending on the neighborhood.
Okay, let's go 1,200. Love it. Perfect. And then I'm going to leave these. I'm going to make these for the 2 bedrooms. I'll make it 2,000, 2,100, and then 2,200. All right. What I'm trying to show you guys is that this sheet adds everything up for you. Okay.
Hey, Chico, what are you doing here? What you?
Let's see. Hang on 1 sec. Let's see. Boom here. Okay. You're going to add all these bad boys up, and you're going to go. Enter, boom, okay? You got this, you got 10,700. Okay, this should equal this times 12, boom, and you got 128,000. This equals this, boom. Okay, so guys, what we're gonna do here, right, is we're gonna add, so let's go ahead and, there's no market, there's no space here. Okay, so what we're going to have, guys, let's see, equals this plus this. All right, you're going to add your occupied space plus other income. Let's say maybe they rent the parking lot out let's say it's close to a sports stadium and they rent the parking lot out, right? And they get $500 a month or something like that. Okay, so you're going to have this plus this equals 133,800. Now, you're never going to get all of your money all the time, okay? What you are going to get is you're going to get some of it. Maybe it's 96%, maybe it's 97%, maybe it's 92%, okay? So let's just say this number for argument's sake is $5,000 that they lose on vacancy and collections, okay? So you're going to get this minus vacancy and collections is going to equal this, 128,800. Now, real estate taxes, those are hard because there's not a whole lot getting around them. You can try to appeal them every year. I do on my investments, but sometimes you get a little something back. But Real estate taxes, let's just say for argument's sake, they are $9,800 a year, okay? And that the insurance is $1,350 a year, and that the repairs and maintenance are $5,000 a year, okay? And management is, let's say it's self-managed, you do zero, okay? All right, so what I want you guys to understand is water, let's say it's $1,200 a year, it's $100 a month because there's an outdoor hose spigot. And then let's say landscaping is $1,000 a year. Let's say electric is $2,400 a year because there's outdoor lights, common area maintenance. Let's say the guy has his son-in-law go and use a leaf blower in the parking lot for, I don't know, $50 a month, so it's $600 for the year. And janitorial is, let's say, $1,000 for the year. Okay, what you do, guys, is you add all of these up. Okay, so you're going to get, when you add them all up, you're going to sum them up, and then you're going to get this, which is actually in the wrong thing here. Sorry, it's supposed to be like that. And then Excel and Google Sheets work differently. There we go. Okay, so you got 128,000. Okay, you add all these bad boys up, you get 22,000, and then this box equals, okay, your effective gross income minus your total operating expenses. Boom. Okay, so for this particular property, all right, when your NOI is 106,000, right, that is worth something, right? So what I want you guys to understand is the price. Remember, what is the price? Nothing more than the NOI divided by the cap rate. Okay, the cap rate times the price times the cap rate equals the NOI, right? So what that'll allow you to do, guys, okay, equals, for some reason all my formulas got erased from this particular one. I don't know what's going on here. I think when I pasted it, it didn't bring the formulas in, but that's okay. We're doing this live without a net. It's a good test. So your price, okay, so remember I equals RV, okay? So if you want to solve for any one of these numbers, your income equals R divided by V, okay? So your income equals rate divided by price, okay? So when you're solving for your price, so V equals I divided by R, okay? So this equals income divided by R. Very simple. Enter. Bam. Okay. So if this property was going to be a 7 cap, it would be worth $1,522,000 at a 7 cap. Okay. But what if you have an investor that says, no. 7 cap's too expensive. I want to buy at an 8 cap. No problem. Okay. Remember, the income and the operating expenses are like two kids on a seesaw. They work in opposite directions. So when the income goes up, the cap rate goes down. When the cap rate goes up, the income comes down. Okay? Very, very simple. So if we want the cap rate to go up, what has to happen to the price? Price goes down, income up. Sorry, it's been a long day, guys. Price goes down, cap rate goes up, cap rate goes down, price goes up. Okay? So if we want the cap rate to go up, we need the price to go down. So let's go to $1,004,000. There we go. And this is not working the way I want to. Sorry, guys. I grabbed the wrong sheet and it is misbehaving on me today. This is, okay, so we know that the rate, so for solving for the rate equals I divided by V. So rate equals I divided by V. Value. Boom. There we go. Okay, so this is a 7.6 cap. Guess what? That doesn't work. All right. It's not an 8 cap. So if we want the cap rate to go up, the price has to come down. So we take this price, we're going to do $1,003,000, let's say. Boom. Uh-oh, we overshot it. So maybe it's more like $1,350,000. Boom, pretty close. Okay, so the cap rate's got to go up a little bit. Price has got to come down a little bit. Let's go to $1,340,000. Okay, there we go. A little bit more. Okay, the price has got to go down just a little bit. 1,350,000. Boom. Whoopsie. Not 13 million. Pretty close. Okay. That's got to go up. That's got to come down. 1,335,000. There we go, close enough. Okay, so if you have a buyer for this property and they say, Tara, I gotta get an 8 cap, that means that they cannot pay anything more than $1,335,000 based on the rents in the area, based on the income from the property, and based on the expenses that you're paying. Remember, the expenses increase, the NOI decreases, you gotta pay less for the property. Okay? All right, guys, so thanks for being here. Implement what I showed you. Sarah, I will see you in class tomorrow. And the rest of you guys, have a great night. Look forward to talking to you soon. Hope to see you in the coaching program. Talk to you later. Have a good night.